Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there. It's, well, you know. All right, kids, welcome back to another week of Marvel Tales starting October. We're going to get some tales of the supernatural and the dark and
the serpentine.
Yes, vampires and all your creepy crawlies. But yes, it all starts right here on Marvel Tales. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, oh god, Helm Sluggeth and
Justin the Owl donning his cloak of levitation.
Oh my!
Yeah,
cloak of levitation. We went to the pharmacy like little thing.
It's a cloak, I tell you.
Oh god! Wait till that Batman episode.
Oh man, I love it. I am so excited.
I don't know who's gonna be higher, you, Lilith, or Jack Nicholson in that movie.
Maybe all of us.
Oh my! All right, so yes, kids. So yes, we're gonna start October off with a Justin pick. I hadn't read these before. Marvel Premiere 4 through 10 featuring Doctor Strange.
Yeah. It was my first time reading these earlier this year too. Believe it or not, I purchased from our mutual pal Russell some lovely Doctor Strange epic collections, which he wanted to part with, and one of them was a volume called A Separate Reality, which contains this entire 7-issue story. And I had always heard of this story, but I'd never read it. And I was like, oh my God, I love this. This is amazing. We've got to talk about this on the show. Yeah. So as soon as I saw that we had an opening for spooky season, I thought this is a great choice for that because there's so much horror in this.
Yes. Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah.
All these creatures and
yeah.
Magic.
Demons and serpentine monstrosities and underwater battles for life or death and eldritch horrors from beyond with tentacles.
I was gonna say tentacles, serpent menaces. Yeah, you know this is a Justin pick.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Slagooth is also a spawn of Set.
Oh yeah.
Remember during the Atlantis Attacks coverage, the Saga of the Serpent Crown, one of the very first, I think it was chapter 2 or 3, Set like spawned these other creatures, and Slagooth was one of those.
And I'm always down for some Shuma-Gorath.
I don't think
yeah. And the roster of talent on these issues, holy cow. I just couldn't believe it. It's amazing. That's another reason I picked these.
All right. So should we jump in?
Yes.
We said we got 7, so let's jump into these. And again, kids, like Justin said, these have been reprinted. They're also on Marvel Unlimited, which is how I read these. So.
Yep.
So they're readily available. All right. So Marvel Premiere Vault number 4 from September 1972. So before our time. The Spawn of Slagooth. Writer Roy Thomas and Archie Goodwin. Penciler Barry Smith and Frank Brunner. Inker Frank Brunner. Letterer John Costanza.
Costanza.
I swear.
He's everywhere.
The Big Bang. What was there at the Big Bang? Yes, John Costanza. What will survive the heat death of the universe? Cockroaches and John Costanza. I mean, good for him, man. Get them shekels as long as
I
you
love
can.
it.
I
Yeah, he's
swear.
got more credits than anyone else.
This is the early '70s. I mean, we're still talking John Costanza in the '90s when he wrote
Yeah,
those books. I mean, so he had to have been doing this for at least 20 years or so. I
probably 30. Yeah, yep. He's got probably more credits than anyone else.
mean, and pulling the old Stan the Man Lee, editing himself, Roy Thomas. Excelsior! In the in the tradition of the greats.
Yeah.
All right. Doctor Strange is visited by a man named Ethan Stoddard, who has come seeking Doctor Strange's help. He explains that his fiancee, Bethel Doan, studied the occult. However, while she continued her studies in her hometown of Starksborough to study the Thanosian tomes. Traveling to Starksborough with Ethan, Doctor Strange soon finds that the people of this town are becoming reptilian and that they worship the creature known as Sligoth. When Stoddard learns that his fiancée had suffered the same fate, he rushes to Strange, who is investigating the shrine to Sligoth. There, the two are attacked by the townspeople when suddenly Stoddard changes into one of them as well. Stoddard tells Strange that he was used to lure Strange to town. During Stoddard's surprise attack, Strange is knocked out. However, when he comes to, he finds that he is to be thrown into the labyrinth under the church as sacrifice to Sligoth. All right. Thoughts?
Pretty crazy stuff, huh?
Uh,
Yeah, what were your thoughts reading this for the first time?
again, it was like this issue and the next one. I don't know what set me off, but it was ringing me bells for like some of the we were talking about off air, like those some of those final Ghost Rider issues from the original
Yeah.
one by DeMatteis and stuff, and like just like even like the original like Marvel horror vibe again, set
Mhm.
'70s. Marvel was like every other book was like seemed like a horror book.
Yeah, they were really knocking it out of the park in the 70s with horror, as we'll discover later on in the month on Marvel Tales with some of the other stuff we picked. I mean, I think
Oh
most
yeah.
of those were 70s, right? The Man-Thing
Uh,
ones, the Man-Wolf ones,
yeah.
I think the only one that isn't is the Rise of the Midnight Sun, so,
Well, like
yeah,
Captain America might be
oh, right,
80s.
Captain America, that
Yeah,
was
but yeah.
right,
And I mean, as we'll
but
get to on the X Men episode too with special guest Russell. Yeah, it seems like if they weren't even doing straight up horror, like half the time they were like taking like
mm,
pre-existing characters and like, oh, let's change the beast into an actual beast. Let's take
yeah,
this the cat and turn her into tiger.
exactly. Let's mutate them somehow and turn them into
Exactly.
monsters. Yeah, right. Yeah, and this issue in particular reminded me of, like, an old Hammer horror movie from
Mm,
the '60s, like
yes.
going to Starksboro and stuff, and this especially the scene where Ethan finds his fiancée and she just suddenly turns around, she's like, "Are you satisfied?" Like that, it's amazing the way that they did that whole scene. I love it
Hmm.
so much. This is some of my favorite Doctor Strange type of stories, the horror stories. I love
Hmm.
them. So I ate this up with a fork and spoon when I was reading this for the first time, and I loved rereading it again in preparation for this episode. I had so much fun reading this again.
I love when you little talking drops.
I'm going to eat this up with a fork and spoon.
That's one of my sayings. What can I say? But I just love it. And the whole thing with "Come out, Ethan, come out," all the crazy townspeople like
Yeah.
stalking them, and then all of a sudden he turns out to be one of them, like kind of a Manchurian candidate type of situation where he suddenly attacks Doctor Strange.
Hmm.
It's great. I just loved everything about this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, when she turns around, all I can hear is like that Seinfeld episode. So she's a two faced.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's so funny, but it's so weird to like see Doctor Strange ride in a bus.
I know, yeah. It's great. It's like a Hammer horror thing with Doctor Strange inserted in the middle of it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's like they ride the bus to this town in the middle of nowhere. Even the driver's like, Vince, why not? If Vince, why not? This is the get out. I'm killing.
It's talking about eating a hot dog. Yeah,
Mm.
it's so funny.
Oh yeah. And again, yeah, this is so old. We even got. I mean, for the story at least, we still have the ancient one around,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
alive and well. Well,
Yeah, he's alive for most of this.
alive.
Spoilers. But yeah, I loved everything about this issue. This definitely grabbed my attention right away, and I thought I want to read more of this.
Yes. Yeah, I read this thing. Yeah, I'm glad you suggested these because I was like, yeah, yes, this is some yeah, this is a good pick for Halloween season. Yeah.
Yeah. Some good Cult of the Damned or Village of the Damned horror with
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. Yeah.
Where's that? Oh yeah, features concepts created by Robert E. Howard,
Yeah.
including Von Junce's Nameless Cults or the Serpent Breed.
Yeah.
So, so Robert E. Howard. Yeah, I was gonna say it's like the serpent stuff and like yeah, wasn't that from like Conan and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that Shuma-Gorath, there was some contention about that name as well at some point.
Oh yeah.
Whether or not Marvel could use the name for a while, there was a little bit of a hairy situation with that, I think.
Oh yeah, because that was he was from Conan too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's been resolved since, but yeah.
Marvel's just like Shuma-Gorath. I don't know. I don't think it's the same character.
I don't think those are tentacles.
Yeah, ours looks much different than the Conan one.
His eyes are a completely different color.
Yeah, right. He's a totally different shade of purple.
Oh god. First they were like, wait a minute. Oh, tell them it's a brown-eyed starfish. No. No.
We'll leave that for DC.
Oh, are you saying Smarto is a brown-eyed starfish?
No, wasn't his eye red? They make an ointment for that.
Yeah, until he got it bleached. He was going to the movies, see?
They make an ointment for that.
All right, enough with these shitty jokes. Should we get to the next issue?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, God, you and Lilith. You're bad influence. You're bad influences, both of you. All right. Marvel premiere number 5 from November 1972, The Lurker in the Labyrinth. All of a sudden, and again, I think he does the rest of the issues. Gardner Fox is the writer.
Yes. I
changes,
couldn't believe that.
Just changes up in the middle of the story. Yeah.
It's like, what? Gardner Fox writing Doctor Strange? All right, I'm in. Damn it, let's do it.
Yeah, and penciler Irv Wesley, inker Don Perlin, letterer Sam Rosen, and editor Roy Thomas. So basically, the whole creative team has changed.
Everyone's changed.
The middle of the story.
Except for Roy.
Yeah, exactly. Except for the editor. Yeah.
It's so funny.
I don't know. Well, again, I don't know. I'm trying to think at the time if books like Marvel premiere, if you got a lot of that. But like I said, I'm trying to remember. I think at least Gardner Fox, I think, stays through the rest of these issues we're covering.
I think Steve Englehart's in the last couple, maybe. But for most of them, it's Gardner Fox, yeah. Which I thought, I was so surprised by it.
I know.
Wow. Holy cow.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I didn't know Gardner Fox wrote any Doctor Strange.
Yeah. It's amazing.
All right. Prisoner of the Spawn of Sligoth, Doctor Strange is met by Sligoth itself and the Spawn's priestess, Ibora. Ibora explains that the spawn of Sligoth is working with their master in order to free Shuma-Gorath, an ancient creature that plots to roll over the earth. Breaking free, Strange battles Sligoth while in the Ancient One's sanctum. The Ancient One is captured by the Shadow Men of Ka-Yu, while Clea and Wong watch from the orb of Agamotto in New York. Back in Starksboro, Strange's battle with Sligoth leads him into the creature's labyrinth, where he begins to weaken and falter. Strange summons the spirits of the Vishanti, but they refuse to help, citing that if humanity is to be saved from Shuma-Gorath, it will be by one of their own. Strange resumes his battle with Sligoth and manages to bind the creature. However, it manages to escape when Ibora casts a spell to summon minions to help her master, causing the cavern to flood and putting Doctor Strange at risk of drowning.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this issue is wild.
Yeah.
Like this all of a sudden went from being like a Hammer horror to like 1940s Universal horror with the creepy staircase and the bats flying around and the cobwebs and stuff, and like it was so wild, this shift that suddenly took place. And you've got the townspeople looking like like Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Yeah, exactly.
Suddenly they look completely different.
Instead of serpent men, all of a sudden they look like they're under the curse of inbreeding.
Right. Yeah. And all of a sudden there's this wild detour with the Ancient One, who is doing his thing in his cavern in the Himalayas, and then all of a sudden these dudes burst in and kind of haul him away forcibly. He says, "I cannot resist them. Their cold, cruel hands fasten on my weakened body. Lift it easily. They carry me off to work their wicked wills on my helpless flesh."
Scream it!
Scream it!
Oh yeah, the whole thing with this, the priestess Ibora and
Ibora, yeah, she's a great foil, right? And I love how she's the only one that's normal.
yeah,
everyone else is mutated, but she retains her beauty and everything. And there's a great fight between Sligoth and Doctor Strange in the catacombs, and then he beseeches the Vishanti for aid, and they're like, "No, you're on your own. Sorry, Steven. You're gonna have to rock this one solo."
I know.
He's like, "Damn it." The one time when I need your help and you guys bail on me. Thanks a lot. Yeah, and I love that cliffhanger at the ending where Ibora has that trident, and she leaps into the water and flies down to the cavern where swims down to the cavern where Strange is, and she's going after him as he's drowning. Like, this guy can't catch a break. It's wonderful. I love it.
And I forgot, the look of some of these characters back then, like Clea, she has,
yeah,
she got that something about Mary hair.
Right.
Almost looks like horns, but it's just like hair. I'm like,
okay. Just giving him the old razzle dazzle.
She almost looks like an Archie character.
Yeah. Yeah, the art is so different from the previous issue.
Yeah.
It's such a shift. Like, even the art makes it look like a 1940s production, like a Golden Age comic in places.
I was gonna say, I wonder if Marvel Premiere was like, I was gonna say like a showcase for like new talent, and then they might get assignments, and someone else would have to finish the story. But I mean, like Gardner Fox, wasn't like a new name at this point.
No.
Oh. Unless
No.
unless it was just for like artists or whatever. Because Irv Wesley, I'm not familiar with, but
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was where like they had one editor on the book, Roy, and then they had like a rotating cast of writers and artists and stuff. Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't have many Marvel premieres actually. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think this is the first I've read Marvel Premiere, so I'm just like Premiere. I'm like, is this just like kind of
Mm.
showcasing new talent or?
Hmm. Yeah, for a while this was like Doctor Strange didn't have a book.
Yeah, yeah.
So this was it. This was the only place you could read his stuff.
Well, yeah, that's the weird thing because I don't know if it's like I don't know if there was a rule you can only have. There's a weird thing about it, like how many books I think they could publish at the time. That's why like you
Mm-hmm.
got like Captain America and like some of the other characters, and like you got like Tales of Suspense and Tales to Astonish and all that.
Right.
All of a sudden, the
Yeah.
superheroes were taking over those books, and it's just
Yeah.
because again they would never do that these days. Cause what was it? Was it Tales of Suspense? Like whatever Cap was in, once it hit 100, it became Captain America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Continued that numbering. I'm like, modern
Yeah.
comics would never.
And Thor, Journey into Mystery with
Mhm,
Thor. That was
mhm.
the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the weird thing with the Hulk had 6 issues.
Yeah.
Then he was appearing on what Tales to Astonish, and then it's like
Hmm.
all of a sudden the next issue that's called the Hulk is 102. It's like, oh,
Yeah. What? Yeah. So weird.
all right. So should we get to the next one?
Yes. Shambler from the Sea.
All right. So Marvel Premiere number 6, January 1973. The Shambler from Shambler from the Sea. Writer is still Gardner Fox, but this time penciler is Frank Brunner. Inkers are Ralph Reese and Sal Buscema.
Yes.
Letterer Gaspar Saladino and editor Roy Thomas. Doctor Strange frees himself from the labyrinth of Sliggeth and defeats Abora before fighting Sluggeth once more. Strange manages to best the creature in combat and then drowns the ancient demon by plugging its gills. We've all had those kind of nights, huh, Hans? What's that saying? Once spent a month in Vegas one weekend, huh, kid? However, Sliggeth's dead body sinks to the bottom of the sea. The Gapthoth, aka the Shambler from the Sea, comes to life and begins to make its way to the surface. Wong and Clea arrive in Starksboro where they meet Johnny Frames, who is the real fiance of Deborah. The three are captured by the spawn of Sliggeth and prepared to be offered as a sacrifice to Shuma-Gorath. Doctor Strange comes to rescue them and must battle the Gabthoth, the Ancient One, now a prisoner in the city of Caillou, whose people worship Shuma-Gorath, sends his astral form to help Strange battle the Gabthoth. Strange manages to fight off and eventually destroy the Gaboth, but not before allowing it to flee to a stashed treasure of an ancient map of Stonehenge located in England. After being led to this clue by the Gabthoth, it is destroyed by Strange, with their next course of action to head to England. So the fake and real fiance thing was kind of confused me at first because the real fiance is like, oh yeah, that guy in the cape, meaning Doctor Strange. I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't he the one who went to Strange for help? And I was like, oh no. Then I was like, no. They pulled a fast one. Okay.
Yeah. 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 Little quick shuffle of the characters.
Mm.
And they did that with the villain, like almost in the first like 2 or 3 pages of the story. Sliggeth is defeated. I was surprised by that. I was like, wow, you made him out to be this like really powerful demonic foe. And in the last issue, he like even used some type of nasty fungus on Doctor Strange. Like he's got all these powers and stuff. He's such a formidable threat, but all it takes is like Doctor Strange taking a 2x4 and hitting him over the head with it for him to be defeated. I thought that was a little strange.
Yeah.
You know, it made for a cool sequence, don't get me wrong, but as far as the the ultimate defeat of Sligoth. I thought it was kind of anticlimactic. And it was funny too that like the next page, here's a new monster. I wonder if they were like, we can't have the same monster appear in like 3 issues in a row. We've got to have a new monster every 2 or 3 issues, or else we'll lose them.
I don't know. We're shifting pencilers and inkers and everything here pretty quick. Unless the penciler's like, man, I want to draw this. I want to draw something else.
Yeah. Frank Bruner was like, listen, I've got this Shambler from the Sea design that I've been dying to do. Roy Thomas was like, all right, we'll do it.
I wonder if it's just that it was like, Sligoth was supposed to be, I don't know, some kind of like evil where it could be defeated by a holy object. Because it looks like a cross with crucifix. Strange hits him with. So is that supposed?
Yeah, that's kind of some of the inference that I got. Yeah, but it just seems so funny that they built him up to be such a powerful monstrosity, and then he's taken out so easily. Like
remember too, he hit him right in the gills.
Yeah. It's a sensitive area. Yeah, I get it.
Took that piece of wood and shoved it right in his gill.
Yeah. But great artwork in this one. Oh my God. I just love it so much. And the colors, the use of colors in this is off the chain good.
The last one wasn't bad, but I do like the art in this one more than the previous issue.
Yeah. It's definitely it fits the tone of this.
Again, we're
really
we're kind of more back to the 70s tone vibe. With this art.
It's back to that era horror instead of universal 1940s horror. Yeah.
I mean, Ibora looks like she's about to pour out of the top of that dress.
Yeah. Exactly. Looks like she should be played by Raquel Welch.
No, I said, hand me the buoys.
Yeah, this one was great.
I love the troglodytes of Starksboro.
Yeah.
Get more ancient one. On those, I mean, I guess it was like it's a it has to be done. But I thought that was the previous issue, the one before. I thought the ancient one was too weak to send his astral form and help Strange, but in this one he does it.
Yeah, I guess he musters up the last of his strength to do it. But as we'll see in other issues, he calls upon his reserves again.
Yep.
That man's got an indomitable will, apparently.
And then Strange has to save his friends from the Shambler and Ibora.
Yeah. Back to her shenanigans. Less than 24 hours later, she's ready to sacrifice some more people. Yeah, we have some more great action here between the Shambler and Doctor Strange at the end. I love it.
I just love the description when the Shambler comes walking up. And again, it's not like a cave. It's like a door opens up. And it's just like, oh, Lord. It's the sucker distans of the Shambler.
His monstrous hands rip and rend at weathered, worm-eaten planking.
Suck, suck.
Lots of tentacles in this story.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think those are tentacles.
But yeah, man, the art in this issue, man, I'm about ready to sacrifice myself to Ibora, man.
Yeah, she's no joke.
We get to fight with the Shambler.
Rip him, rend him, she screams. It's so good. Yeah, I love this script. Gardner Fox. I mean, I never would have imagined him writing Doctor Strange would be this great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so good.
I'll render you forever useless and send you back into that primal ooze from whence you came.
Yep. He's got it all, too. He's got the vapors of Voltor, the crimson crystals of Sidorak. He's breaking out the big guns for this one. He's not messing around.
And the Shambler, kind of like Shuma-Gorath. I mean, I guess evil creatures, you can tell by the one eye.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, no, this is good. And of course, yeah, so he finds the map, and it's Stonehenge, which...
Yep. Not really surprising.
Everybody has a Stonehenge story.
Yeah.
All right. Ready for your next one?
Yes.
All right. So Marvel premiere number 7 from March 1973, The Shadows of the Starstone. Writer Gardner Fox again. This time pencils P. Craig Russell. Inkers Mike Esposito, Frank Giacola, and David Hunt. So 3 inkers this time. Colors Mimi Gold, letterer Gene Izzo, and editor Roy Thomas. So
totally different creative team except for the writer and editor.
Yeah. But I do like, I didn't think we had a lot of female creators at this time, but yeah, I do like that our colorist and our letterer are here. So yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, for some reason I always assume it's like, oh yeah, there was like such a boys club back in this era, but I guess not completely.
Yeah, not 100%, which is great.
With Nagaboth defeated, Strange leaves for Stonehenge in England right away to prevent the next step in the revival of Shuma-Gorath. In England, near the town of Penmallow in Cornwall, Henry Gordon is the inheritor of his Uncle Jed's manor, Witch House. Oh, here we go. I thought from this. Which is still looked after by his uncle's housekeeper, Blondine.
Blondine, yeah.
I guess which color her hair is, kid.
Blondine.
That'd be funny if that was her name and she wasn't a blonde.
Yeah, she's bald.
Would that be balding? He learns of his uncle's research into the occult and soon reads about the sunken land of Kalumesh and that it sank because its people worshipped a demon god called Dagoth, who served Shuma-Gorath. After finding a wet footprint of a giant webbed foot, Henry notices a light shining in an old tower that Blondine identifies as the Tower of Dagoth. Although she warns him never to go there, Henry ignores her warning, suspecting that she and the villagers are attempting to steal his inheritance. On the beach near the tower, Henry finds a strange jewel with a weird shadow trapped inside and brings it back to Witch House. Wait, you're just asking for trouble for inheriting a witch house. Early the next morning, Henry has come to believe that his uncle was seeking lost treasure in sunken Kalumesh, and Blondine has agreed to help him hunt for it. As they head out in a motorboat, Blondine warns Henry that legend says that Dagoth still inhabits these deeps and may attack them. Henry again dismisses her warning, and the two of them go scuba diving in search of drowned Kalumesh. However, just as they spot the city, Henry and Blondine are confronted by the demon Dagoth. Helpless against the monstrous creature, the duo are about to be killed when Doctor Strange arrives and manages to bind Dagoth with the 7 rings of Ragador. Strange then rescues the 2 divers and brings them to Witch House, where he wonders if they could be mixed up with the cult of Dagoth. When the semi-conscious Blondine murmurs that she hears Shuma-Gorath's call, Strange uses the Eye of Agamotto to probe her mind and learns that she is the reincarnation of the High Priestess of Dagoth, who drowned in the cold water with the other human inhabitants of the city when it sank beneath the ocean. That night, while Strange and Henry rest, an entranced Blondine takes the jewel, which she calls the Starstone, and places it before a window that is a lens sacred to Shuma-Gorath. The light beaming down from Kulaths frees the shadow from within the Starstone, and that darkness then spreads throughout the town, turning everyone into slaves of Dagoth, who has freed himself and now plans to sacrifice them all to Shuma-Gorath. As the people begin to march into the sea to offer themselves as sacrifices, Clea and Wong arrive by car. That must have been a long drive from America.
Yeah.
And Clea uses her mystic abilities to rouse Strange from his demon-induced stupor. Strange then uses the Vipers of Valtor to gather in the evil shadow from the Star Zone, freeing everyone else from its control. While Strange battles Dagoth again and eventually banishes the creature to another dimension, star beams from Yoggoth strike the Star Stone and release evil matter with a dark sentience that has been ordered to hunt and destroy its assigned prey. As the five return to Witch House, Blondine explains that when Strange had invoked her memories of her past life, he had also made her sleeping mind vulnerable to control by Dagoth. At the doorway, Strange suddenly senses that Witch House is now alive and has been turned into a gigantic trap, but it's too late because the trap has already snapped shut.
Another cliffhanger ending, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Keep moving this story right along. I love it. Yeah, I love Dagoth in this one, this bright magenta colored aquatic demon. I love this sunken city, Cathalos, that's like a mile underneath the surface of the water.
There was a lot of setup in this issue. At first, I was reading this, I was like, man, is Doctor Strange going to show up in this issue?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
or
where'd
is this
he
gonna be a whole
go?
issue of setup? I was like, okay, I'm here for it to see what happens. But I'm like, man, what's
Yeah.
And Blondine. At first, you don't know what's up with her. Because she's like warning him about Witch House and all this. And then they go scuba diving. I'm like, she's going to try to kill him. You think she's after your inheritance and you go scuba diving with her? He's gonna have an accident with that scuba tank, man. Blondine.
I know. What a great name, huh?
I just laughed the whole time. Blondine.
It's fantastic.
Well, again, stay tuned for her sister, Brunetta.
Scarlet.
Oh, Redshall.
Oh, I think you've got some lag going on, Phil.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, I think it's all right now.
Okay.
Just for a minute, it was. I think we're good now, though.
Probably just StreamYard.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's so funny, right? The first time I read this, I was like, Blondine. I have
serious?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that name before in my life.
Oh, they probably made it up.
Yeah, it's wild.
And again, we got a whole new art team, but this one's not, it's not as drastic a change as we did from the last two issues.
No, it's very, the style's very similar, actually. Yeah, P. Craig Russell's a great artist, too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And how old's Blondine supposed to be? When he shows up at the house, she's like, you're a brave young man coming here.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, that's a little vague, right?
Because she says, she's the housekeeper, so you expect she'd be old. But yeah, no. Shockingly, kids, Blondine is blonde.
Yeah. Yeah. So funny. I love how close this sunken city is. Like, they've just got to dive in regular scuba gear and like go down like half a mile, and it's right there. It takes them like half an hour to get to it.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
And then another underwater menace.
Yes, I'm noticing a theme here: underwater menace for Doctor Strange.
And Doctor Strange just like swoops in like Superman.
Yeah. I really liked the flashback sequence where Blondine was kind of reliving the memories of her previous incarnation on Kalutha.
Yes.
Yeah, that was cool. That whole page was really neat.
So again, it's like, yeah, she's not evil. She's just kind of being influenced by.
Hmm. Yeah. We could say that her soul has a tie to this region, whether she likes it or not.
Basically under the spell of Dagoth.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that part where he was summoning all the townsfolk to
Including Doctor Strange.
Yeah, to go into the water. I thought, wow, this is also surprising to me. And the
So
Starstone, the stuff coming out of the Starstone, I was like, what's going on here? I love this.
and I want to know, either Doctor Strange was slow to get into here, or I was like, man, Clea and Wong don't seem like they were that far behind Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Yeah, what were they doing this whole time?
That's a tricky drive from the
That's
United
true.
States over here.
Yeah.
I love it. Not even any mention of it. They hop the plane and then they got, they rented a car or something. It's just like speeding along the highway. It's like,
Yeah. Magic. You don't need to speed along the highway. You can just fly there.
or at least, just one text box that says, after a quick red eye or something.
Yeah.
Uh,
They're not going to use mystical portals to teleport there, no matter what.
no.
It'd be far too easy.
All right. Ready for the next one?
Yes, number 8.
Yeah, this is. I mean, these are all good covers, but this is like a.
Oh God, yeah, that cover is so good.
All right, so Marvel premiere number 8 from May 1973, The Doom That Bloomed on Cathulos. Writer Gardner Fox again. This time, penciler Jim Starlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is some of his earliest stuff.
Probably, yeah. Inker Frank Giacola and David Hunt. Colors Petra Goldberg. Letterer Gene Izzo again. And editor Roy Thomas. Inside Witch House, Doctor Strange uses his powers to defend his friends from the walls and furniture which have been magically animated to attack them. And he eventually gets them all safely outside. Then calls upon the Vishanti to destroy the bewitched building and the evil spirit that had taken possession of it. Once that is done, Henry announces that he and Blondine are going to stay and build a simple dwelling for them both where no evil shall ever enter. Yeah, I mean, how long has it been since Henry came to claim Witch House? I'm like, haven't you known Blondine for like a day or two, and all of a sudden, yeah, we're gonna build a life here together.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's just as the housekeeper, but I mean, like, it seemed like he was thinking about her cleaning something else,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing some more housekeeping.
I thought
all natural.
I heard a housekeeper. I thought you were going to be old. No, I know you can stay. No problem.
Yeah.
Well, the greatest mystical artifact of all time that the siren song that no man can resist, right?
Superior puss.
Well, some of us. Oh man, I don't know. But there's one thing all men have in common, man. If it polishes your broomstick, it's.
That's right. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Because seriously, isn't it? It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna. It didn't seem like we're gonna build a life together here. It's like you've known her for a day.
She seemed like she was all right with it.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Well, I mean, I guess she lived there, right? I mean, she didn't have anywhere else to go. Maybe, I don't know.
That, and I mean, was she a gold digger? I mean, he inherited this house. I mean, is there like a fortune or something to inherit here too?
No.
Because he's talking about rebuilding this whole thing,
Well, seaside property,
not cursed, but
the seaside property, that's prime real estate.
Mm-hmm.
You'd probably fetch a couple million for that.
Oh man, you go back there today, man. It's gonna be a kick-ass Airbnb.
Not anymore. That's going out. Airbnb is going out.
No, it's not haunted. It used to be haunted.
Yeah.
That's the tourist attraction. It used to be haunted.
That's right.
Doctor Strange then departs on his next mission to go to Stonehenge alone in spite of Clea's misgivings. After arriving at Stonehenge, Strange battles a number of winged demons and slays them all. He then senses the awful evil of the agent of Shuma-Gorath who sent the demons, Cathulos, who focuses its necromantic rays on Strange, projecting beams of starlight that wrap around Strange and pull him through interdimensional spaces to a strange alien world. Strange discovers that the whole planet is alive and is then confronted by Cathulos, who manifests as a humanoid head with the mouth of a giant Venus flytrap. Little shop of horrors.
Feed me now.
Cathulos informs Strange that he is the planet itself and has used the powers granted to him by Shuma-Gorath to bring Strange there to die. Cathulos then prevents Strange's magics from working and decides to amuse himself by killing the humans slowly. When Strange proves to be a worthy enemy, Cathulos paralyzes Strange as he prepares to absorb him. Strange is unable to resist as his essence is absorbed through some form of psychic symbiosis, but at the last moment he becomes as one with Cathulos and learns that Cathulos cannot resist his magic while absorbing him. Strange then casts the Crimson Crystals of Sidorak at Cathulos, fatally wounding the plant from which the spirit draws its sustenance. As the planet quickly withers and dies, Strange finds himself the only living thing on the planet and realizes that, in dying, Cathulos has triumphed because Strange is now marooned there, far from Earth, and unable to stop Shuma-Gorath from rising.
Yeah. Things are progressing here.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this whole concept with Cathulos being like a living world almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
The ego on this guy.
I know. Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked Starlin's art on this.
Yeah, me too. You could see some of his hallmark little things that he's done throughout his career in this issue, like bits and pieces of it here and there, and it's so great. The whole part with Stonehenge, where he's fighting those winged demons and things, is great. And where he's kind of hurling through time and space as he's getting pulled by Cathulos' spells.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I just love it so much.
But even like the energy, like the magical energy blast as he's battling the demons at Stone, yeah, all that.
Yeah,
great,
totally.
And again, the colorist helps pull that off too. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. The colors are great, especially when we're taken to the world of Cathulos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love all of that. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and again, it's like, I mean, it's working with the horror vibe, but it's a nice mixture of like the horror vibe, the art, and also like you can see Starlin's like superhero style in here. It's a nice little mixture.
Yes, some superhero stuff, some fantasy stuff, some supernatural. Yeah, there's a little bit of everything here.
So yeah, so basically, Cathulos tried to absorb Strange, and
didn't work out so good.
It's a tough magician to swallow.
Yeah, give him indigestion. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a nice little panel at the end too, where it's just like, I'm seeing.
I know. Yeah.
Branded, yeah.
I kind of wish we had seen more of Jim Starlin's Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the stuff that comes directly after this a lot, but still, I thought, oh man, only one issue of Jim Starlin. I wish we had a little bit more.
I know. That's what I'm like. Was this like a tryout for something, or?
Yeah, I feel like it's one of his earlier.
Because again, credits. I mean, does the next Doctor Strange series start here soon? Because
it does.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, after this, goes up to Marvel Premiere number 14 of March 1974, and then Doctor Strange number 1 starts in June of 1974.
Okay. Yeah, because then that goes somewhere into the 80s, and then after
Mm-hmm.
a little break there, doesn't Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme comes out?
Yeah.
Was it like 88 or 89? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He was in Strange Tales too for a little bit in the 80s.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was kind of in between the two Doctor Strange series, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, for a while there was no Doctor Strange. Like looking at this epic collection, like the year 1970, there was only 2 appearances of him
Wow.
for the whole year.
Hmm.
And an issue of Submariner and an issue of Incredible Hulk. And then only 1 appearance in 1971. So it's really strange, yeah.
Yeah, I could see like Doctor Strange not being the easiest character to write, just with all the
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you got to come up with all the mystical, all these weird names, and all the mystical spells and all these weird concepts. I mean, again, an imaginative writer can do it, but it's like,
Yeah. I think the timing was right too for his return right around this time period, because the early 70s, 1972 is right when that horror boom was starting. So there was a more of an audience for that type of story than there was in a couple of years prior.
Yeah, because I think it was like 72, 73. Yeah, this is like around the time I think. We're getting Ghost Rider, and I think
Son of Satan,
Damien Hellstrom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a big deal.
And again, we were getting, like we were saying, all the creature stuff, Man Thing, and
yeah.
I
think that was 74. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Morbius is in the 70s, his first appearance as Spider-Man. Yeah, so.
Yep.
Pulling out all the guns here. All right.
Yeah.
Should we get to the next issue? Find out how.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Marvel Premiere number 9 from July 1973. The Crypts of Caillou. Writers Steve Englehart and Frank Brunner. So yeah, here's Englehart. And penciler also Frank Brunner. So he's co-writer and penciler.
Mm-hmm.
Inker Ernie Chua, colorist David Hunt, letterer, he's back, kids, John Costanza, and editor Roy Thomas. With the aid of the Ancient One, Doctor Strange is able to get off the dead world of Cathalos by causing the planet to detonate and using the planet's force of the explosion to hurl himself forward in space. After battling several demons which were dispatched to try and stop Strange's return to Earth, Strange arrives at the crypts of Caillou, where the Ancient One is being held prisoner. Confronting the leader of Caillou, the living Buddha, Strange also fights off numerous shadow men as well. As Strange is swarmed by the attacking creatures, the Ancient One must help his pupil, but this weakens him tremendously. After the battle, Strange is horrified to learn that Shuma-Gorath intends to return to Earth through the Ancient One's mind.
Yeah. How's that for a cliffhanger ending?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The voice of Shuma-Gorath coming from the Ancient One.
This is your brain. This is your brain on Shuma-Gorath.
Yeah. Yeah, the art in this one. Holy God, Frank Brunner. I think that after reading a lot of this stuff and a lot of his other Doctor Strange stuff, he might be tied with Gene Colan for my favorite Doctor Strange artist, because I just love his Doctor Strange so much. I think it's immaculate.
This is
yeah.
And again, in a different way, but also I think just like Starlin, he has the right combination of like horror and supernatural and fantasy. Yeah,
definitely. Just the way that he draws the cloak. It's perfect. I love it. And the weird demons that appear and attack Doctor Strange in space. They're so good. I love everything about this.
Oh yeah, Clea, Wong, everybody looks good in this.
Yeah. The living Buddha. So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Steve Englehart firing on all cylinders right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So good. I can't say enough good things about this.
I mean, bravo to all these writers. I mean, I don't think anyone's missed a beat picking up what
No.
they won from the last person to write.
Yeah, 3 different writers. Archie Goodwin, Gardner Fox, and now Steve Englehart. It's wild.
And then we find this, this crypt where all the ancient ones go to die, basically.
Yeah. Ancestral mausoleum.
Because we're setting something up for the last issue, kids. Which,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I didn't realize this is where, somebody gets a title.
Yeah.
A new
This
job
is a
title.
big deal that happens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all these green demons look great. Yeah.
Yeah, everything looks awesome. Kill servitors of Kau. Kill Doctor Strange. Shades of the Seraphim. We are too late. The Shadow Men attack. Yeah, it's so good. I love it. Yeah, the art, the script, the colors, just everything.
Oh yeah, even like the little details, just like when Shuma-Gorath speaks through the ancient one, the word balloons are inverted, so it's a black bubble with white writing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was one of the first times that they did that. I can't remember in other characters that they used that little trick for before this, and if they did do it, it was very sparingly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I loved it.
All right, should we do the last one? Then we can.
Yes, the conclusion.
All right, so yeah, kids, final issue, Marvel Premiere number 10 from September 1973. Finally, Shuma-Gorath. Writer again, yeah, Steve Englehart and Frank Brunner. Penciler Frank Brunner. Inker Krusty Bunkers and Ernie Chan. Colorist Corey Adams. Letterer John Costanza. And editor Roy Thomas. Krusty Bunkers. Jeez.
Yeah, in the Epic Collection, it says inks by the Singing Sons of the Krusty Bunkers. I don't know.
There we go. I just found the link. Krusty Bunkers was a collective pseudonym for several artists, inkers, from Neil Adams' Continuity Studios during the 70s.
Oh, Continuity Studios. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see kind of a Neil Adams touch here to the artwork. Okay, that makes sense. All right.
The group consisted of anyone who happened to show up at the offices at the right time.
Oh, the 70s.
But I mean, there's some big names on here. Included were, and this is alphabetical order, Jack Abel, Terry Austin, Pat Broderick, Frank Brunner, Howard Chaykin, David Cockrum, Steve Englehart, Dick Giordano, Larry Hama, Bob McLeod, Al Milgram, Michael Nazar, Ralph Reese, Marshall Rogers, Walter Simonson, Jim Starlin, Greg Thakiston, Alan Weiss, and Bernie Wrightson.
Oh my word! Wow.
So at any point,
that's incredible.
A couple heavy hitters doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, and you wouldn't even know because they weren't credited in the issue.
Yeah.
That's wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. And it said too, yeah, Krusty Bunkers, this group, yeah, they did work for Marvel and DC at the time, so.
Wow. That's great.
All right, so with Shuma-Gorath using the Ancient One's mind as a portal to Earth's dimension, Doctor Strange is the only force standing in the demon's way. Traveling into the Ancient One's mind and battling Shuma-Gorath's defenses, including a conjuration of Dormammu from the Ancient One's memories, Strange finally battles his way into Gorath's realm. There, Strange battles the creature, but then realizes that the only way to stop Shuma-Gorath is to kill his own master. Slaying the Ancient One with a mystic bolt, the Ancient One is killed, sealing the portal for Shuma-Gorath and causing the city of Kau to crumble. Grieving over his master's death, the Ancient One appears around him, telling Strange that he is now one with the universe and now Strange will fill his position as Sorcerer Supreme. So yes, kids, Marvel Premiere 10 is the issue where Doctor Strange officially gets the title for the
Yeah.
first time, Sorcerer Supreme.
This is it.
Mm.
Yeah. So wild.
Oh, and of course, yeah, this issue is reprinted in Marvel Treasury Edition number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess
Yeah.
it would be a reprinted one because it's where he becomes Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, this is a big deal. Yeah, and this whole story is pretty legendary in the Doctor Who canon. I think that maybe I had some black and white reprint of this back in the day. Didn't they do those
Oh,
what
it
were they
was one
called?
of those essential.
Essentials.
Yeah,
Yes, that were
I have a
black
bunch
and
of
white
those.
reprints.
Yeah,
I think I had one of Doctor Strange that may have had this in there.
it might be. Yeah. Because I have a
But
bunch of those. Yeah,
it's so much better with the color. Oh my god, it's like a night and day difference.
they were almost like small telephone books, kids, and they
Yeah,
reprinted a bunch of issues, but
I
it was all
know.
black and white. Which I was like, fine, if it's cheap, I'm fine.
Yeah, that was how I read the first Moon Knight series for the first time.
Yeah,
Which that series it was fine for that to be black and white. I love that.
I read the first I read the first volume of that of Moon Knight. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how I read the entire original run of Jessica Drew Spider Woman.
Oh right, yeah.
They reprinted that whole 50 issues in 2 volumes. Yeah.
Oh nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those back in the day, those were like a cheap way to read those stories.
Yeah. I had a bunch of
Yeah,
Spider-Mans. I think I have like the first
yeah,
2 volumes of the Hulk through that, some X-Men stuff, Avengers. Yeah, I got a couple volumes
a
of
bunch of Avengers. Yeah,
I probably read at least the first 50 issues of Avengers that way.
nice. Yep, good stuff.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, Doctor Strange. Yeah, he had to kill the Ancient One. To keep Shuma-Gorath from coming through to Earth. But he was ready to chuck it all. He was like, I took a Hippocratic oath. I took an oath, to preserve life and stuff, even as sort of, as mystically. And he's like, no, he's like, I'm gonna chuck it all. And that's when the Ancient One basically shows up on a tree and says, don't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically says, yeah, I'm not basically now one with everything.
Yep, he sees him in the water. He sees him in the rocks.
Yep.
He sees him on the face of a spider on a leaf. Yeah,
and he basically tells Strange, he's like, I knew what was going to happen. I wanted you to kill me. Yeah.
Yeah, he knew the whole time. Yeah, every page I think this is my favorite issue out of all of these that we covered tonight. I think this is my favorite in terms of both the writing, the artwork, and the story.
Yeah.
I thought it was the best realized story of all these issues, and the script and the art just were seamless together. I love that panel where he says, he saved my life so that I could end his. And Doctor Strange blasts him with that bolt, and you kind of see in the background the Ancient One's face superimposed over and then the other half of the page is Shuma-Gorath's defeat as he goes, no, as he's writhing in pain. It's great. I can't say enough good things about this issue in particular.
Oh yeah.
All of it was done really, really well. Yeah, and those 2 pages at the end where he's having that really enlightened conversation with the Ancient One, it's so good. It's really masterful stuff. I can see how Steve Englehart and Frank Brunner kind of got the job.
Yeah.
For Doctor Strange from the strength of these issues and the ones that came directly after them. Because God, they were so good. They must have blown people's minds the first time they read this.
Oh yeah, I love because the Ancient One says he's because basically has this new wisdom now. It's like, then teach me this new wisdom. No, you cannot understand. You are still in the old state of being.
Yeah. You're only Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, basically, I think he basically gives him the title. Yeah, he's like,
yeah,
you are fully worthy to become this realm's new Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah. And he had been around for like a decade at that point, or almost, I think, right? Doctor Strange?
I think so, yeah, because it was in the 60s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
probably. Yeah. I mean, here, sure, I can look this
I
up.
I like that it took him a while to get to
Yeah,
that point.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's actually conversations, or I mean, was the ancient one that big of a character where they're just like, yeah, can we do this?
Right. Yeah, 1963 was the first.
Yeah, it's figured because he was another Steve Ditko
Yeah,
co-creation. Yeah.
that was Strange Tales number 110. Doctor Strange, Master of Black Magic, July 1963. So yeah, he'd been around for almost a decade at that point
Hmm.
until he became Sorcerer Supreme. I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
had
I didn't
no
know it
clue
was that
about
long either. Yeah,
that. Yeah, that's cool.
but I wonder if it was like harder to get a Doctor Strange book off the you know because it's not your typical superhero book, and
Right.
again 60s 70s. I can see mothers saying, "Ah, no, that's devil stuff. No, you're not reading."
Yes. Yeah. Get Satan's pornography out of this household.
It was the Harry Potter of its day. It's like, no, it's witchcraft. How dare you read that?
Yeah. Satanic panic all over the place.
How would I show
Yeah.
my face in church if everyone knew my son or daughter was rated this?
Oh man, I'm glad that I didn't grow up in that era because I would have tortured my parents. Every day I would have been like, "Hell, Satan, bitch!" Ah!
I think me and Lilith have discussed this. I think we were both in the same boat where it's basically like I don't even if they would have thought that way, I don't think my parents would have been like that, but it's like I don't think they even knew what half of what was in those comic books. So.
Yeah, if they only knew. Yeah, they should have been more worried about what I was reading in the '90s. Some of the Image comics with all the tits and ass in those Image comics. They should have been more concerned about that stuff than any supernatural
Well,
influence.
did they really have to worry about? Did they really have to worry about you seeing boobs?
No,
No.
not at all. No.
Well,
But I'm sure that some other boys were spending some extra time in their bedrooms with those comic books.
well, yes, you have to hand it to me. Uh,
Yeah, so what did you think of this story as a whole? Like the whole
I
thing?
liked it. I'm glad you picked this. Again, it's like I like the whole like the 70s horror, and also I
Mm,
like the I hadn't read this, and now I know where Stephen Strange became Sorcerer Supreme.
yeah, it's a milestone
Mm.
issue. Yeah.
But
And
no, it's just
also this creative team was one of the best, I
yeah, the
think. Yeah.
multiple teams. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
I like the like I said, I like pretty much everything everybody did. I mean, I had
Hmm.
favorites out of the rotating cast, but I thought they all did a good job.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. That's the thing. I've read a bunch of Doctor Strange, but I do have big holes in my reading where I haven't
Me
read a bunch.
too.
Yeah. So this kind of helped fill in a gap here.
Yeah. There's a little bit after this that I hadn't read before in the '70s, and then there was a chunk in the '80s that I hadn't read as well. So there's big gaps for me too. But it's been fun kind of catching up and
Oh
filling
yeah.
in the blanks and stuff. Yeah.
All I'll say is, hey kids, wait until December and we'll talk about the new
Mm,
sorceress, the current sorcerer
yes.
supreme. uh,
Yep.
no kids is not a what if story. They did that in what if.
All month long too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, here
Yeah.
on Inspirecast. I think we're gonna have it scheduled for the Daredevil. Oh yeah, if it's a Marvel show, yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I think even for X-Men, don't we? Yeah.
oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I switched.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All month long.
That's right, kids. Doomstember.
Yep.
Bow down to your monarch and your sorcerer supreme. All right. Anything else, Justin?
No, I'm happy that we covered this story. I'm glad you liked it. That makes me happy.
Yes.
And hopefully some listeners out there who haven't read this story before, or maybe who didn't even know about it, will seek it out and enjoy it as much as we did.
Yeah, like we said, yeah, it's been reprinted. Also, it's on the app, a Marvel Unlimited app. So yeah, it's easy enough to find.
Yeah, check it out. Let us know what you think.
Exactly. All right, so next week we're going to cover Creatures on the Loose 30 through 35, a man-wolf story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. Oh, man.
Yes. So there's your werewolf. And then in 2 weeks, we'll cover Captain America 253 and 254 featuring Baron Blood. There's your vampires.
There's your vampire. Yeah.
And then the week after that, we'll cover the first 4 issues of Man-Thing from 1974.
There's your swamp monster.
As if you didn't know who requested the Man-Thing.
Oh, yes. You know it. You know it.
COD, kids. All right. And then, of course, yeah, we're gonna go big for the final episode of the month, which drops on actual Halloween on October 31st.
I love it.
Rise of the Midnight Suns from Ghost Rider 28, Ghost Rider and Blaze Spirits of Vengeance 1, Morbius number 1, Darkhold number 1, Night Stalker number 1, and then Ghost Rider 31.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big one. I can't wait.
It's like the big one of the 90s.
Yeah, that was huge too, because I think that was right around the fall. So it was perfectly timed, that whole crossover. It was great.
Pretty much when that whole thing took off.
Yeah.
All right. So, yes. So, all right, kids. So, send us your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes Lunatics episodes, social media, merchandise. Get the new merchandise, get the old merchandise. And again, of course, that woman with this sinister name, Lilith, the man that you rain random money on. I think isn't that the villain of the Rise of the? Is she in the Rise of the Midnight Suns?
Yes. We'll be talking about her this month.
Might summon her.
Yeah.
I should reach out and be like, hey, you want to talk about your name? Yes, the rain random money on us through the Cash App link.
Make it rain.
So yes, please, of course, don't make us dance on that metaphorical pole in a haunted club, dancing under the name Blondine.
She looks like she was just working a stripper pole down at Divas.
And of course, the Patreon, where again, Lilith and I give you something different every month, completely uncensored, exclusive just to our patrons, like our Al friend down there.
Yes, join me in the Patreon Elite, and you can listen to this month's episode about the life and career of John Byrne.
Yeah, and you spring for the video. Yeah, you get a bunch of examples of this man's art. and the patterns he seems to fall into certain women of the Marvel and DC universe. All right. So find the Patreon at patreon.com/CapesandLunatics and find everything at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. It's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
All right. And now let's summon our owl friend here, Justin the Owl. You can find him, of course, here every week on Marvel Tales, talking something different from Marvel. You can hear him at least once a month, and that's going to be going up with more frequency to on X-Men Classics, where I guess we talk anything with an X in the title. X-Men, you perverts. Of course, you can hear him once a month on Energon Universe with myself and Russell talking all the new Transformers and G.I. Joe content from Image. And then over on Capes Lunatics Sidekicks, you can hear him at least once a month on We Are the Night,
the Batman podcast.
Yeah, talking Azrael, or and again, he pops his head in for other things like episode 200.
Yes.
Where me, Justin, Lilith, and Tyler are going to talk Batman 89, do a live watch.
Yes, I'm so excited for that.
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah, you and Lilith are excited. You're going to be high as kites. All right, and of course, you can catch him every so often on Electric Mullet, where he's doing a nice little run right now.
Yes, Superman in Exile, and then some of my favorite villains immediately afterwards.
That's right. But of course, that's not all this man does, this king of podcasting. So, Justin, where else can they find you? Tell them about these great shows.
You can also find me on Gamma Charge, where every month Russell and Josh and I talk about the Incredible Hulk or the Sensational She-Hulk, depending on which episode you choose. We cover a little bit of everything, and we also have a Patreon, so definitely check us out if you are so inclined. And over on Predator and Prey, we are joined by the High Priest of Khonshu and Sparky, and we discuss not only the new Marvel comics featuring Fox's Predator, but also the classic comics from Dark Horse. And my solo show, The Lost Library of Legends, is currently spotlighting in 3 parts a forgotten DC title from 2002 called The Power Company.
I'm going to eat this up with a fork and spoon. Hold on, let me grab a handful of this. One way trip to Biscuit Town.
Do you have complete memory of those videos?
Oh, I do, yes. Yeah, those weren't blackout situations.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
It's me, your old pal, the owl.
I don't drink to that excess anymore. I end up paying for it for too many days afterwards.
Oh, yeah, I saw John. I went on Facebook real quick last night before bed, and I saw they were doing a live Predator and Prey.
Oh yes, I wasn't on that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
no. Yes, I had the comics. I saw Ray was broadcasting from his car, so
yes, live from the chopper. Yeah.
I jumped on. I said, so how much horsepower does Ray's studio get?
It's a mobile studio on wheels. Yeah, multi-purpose.
Oh God, the hard master on the road.
The hard master.
Broadcasting straight from the chopper.
Oh God, remind me to tell you something when we get off about broadcasting. It just angered me this week.
Okay.
Or maybe I should do a rant cloak. I don't know. No, it's hard enough doing podcasting when like all these famous people are jumping on, and it's just like they're just getting all these views and stuff and downloads because they're famous and stuff. But did you hear who's getting a podcast now?
No.
Haley Welsh, the Hawk Tua girl, was now getting her own podcast.
Oh, no.
Who's setting her up with a big podcast thing, but now it's going to be Talk Tua.
Oh, for God's sake.
I know.
Gotta give him that and spit on that.
Well, she's at 14:59. She's trying to milk the last milliseconds out of that shit.
Oh, she's milking it.
Gotta give him that hawk to it.
God.
Oh, man.
Yeah. In another 5 years, nobody will remember any of that.
I hope not. All right, kids. Thanks for joining us. Again, next week, Creatures on the Loose.
Yes. Man-Wolf in the house.
Then in 2 weeks, Captain America featuring Karen Flood.
Yeah. Get your stakes out.
All right, kids, come back next time. And remember, tell them Blondine sent you.